So how did you come up with Mr. Reagan title? You were just walking down the road and...
Yeah, I just thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'm watching Ben Shapiro, I'm watching Crowder, I'm watching all these guys, and it was like on a Saturday or something, it was a couple years back, and there weren't a ton of conservative YouTubers at the time.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I want to see more stuff. Like, there's a lot of politics going on right now. I want somebody else's perspective. I want some new stuff. I'm like, some other jerk's got to grab a microphone and a camera and do another show. And then I thought, wait, I've got a camera, I've got a microphone, I've got some political opinions, I could do a show. But at the time, I was doing a lot of acting in Hollywood, small parts, stuff like that, but some major projects.
Nice.
And I thought, if people know that you're conservative in Hollywood, unless you're like a really, really big name, you'll get blacklisted. People will not hire you. So I thought, well, I can't use my name. I can't come out with, who's like a political, a person that I admire, who's somebody I admire politically, that people will immediately identify, okay, I know what this person's politics is, right? And I thought, well, Reagan, obviously Reagan. So I thought, okay, I'll call myself Mr. Reagan. So I thought of like the name, I came up with like the logo, I came up with everything in like an hour. Nice. I was just like, okay, boom, 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 got it, put the show on, and it was almost immediately relatively successful.
How long have you been doing it?
About 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And so it took off right away?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, people didn't know who I was at first, but the production quality was okay compared to other people at the time. Most people do a YouTube video, they just shoot themselves with their phone, and that's their first video. I had a separate mic and camera, which 2 years ago, people didn't know that that's what you should do, unless they already got a show going, and then they start to think about how to make. So people thought, oh, the production value is pretty good, but they didn't know who I was. But then I found Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson was doing all this stuff. Yeah. And I reacted to something that he had done a debate with Michael Eric Dyson. And Michael Eric Dyson called him a mean, mad white man. Remember that? And so I did this reaction to that, and that kind of blew up, and that kind of took me off. And then I did a Gillette parody video, which was pretty popular. And then I revealed who the people behind Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez were, the puppeteers pulling the strings. Yeah. And that was a revelation to people, because I think everybody kind of knew that she wasn't coming up with her own stuff.
Yeah, I think somebody had to be behind her, because she seemed too dumb to do it on her own.
Yeah, well, sometimes she says things that are unbelievably stupid, but then sometimes she says these little, idiosyncratic things about history, or especially civil rights history, and you think, how does she know that? Yeah. And there was this weird disconnect with people, and people wanted to know, who's feeding her this information, and I think that's why that video was so popular.
So does Hollywood know you're doing this now? And has it affected you in action?
Well, no, I mean, I just do YouTube full time now. The YouTube channel blew up so big that now I just do YouTube. But what's weird, man? Part of the reason I started my channel was to talk to leftists about, there's this idea on the left that every conservative, every Republican is a straight white man and they're all racist. Yeah. And I thought, I'm from Oregon, right? I've never met a racist. I've never met a racist. How many racists can there be if I've never met one? So I thought, okay, I got to make clear to people that Republicans are basically just ordinary folks with like a different political philosophy. So that was a lot of the reason why I started my show. But what I found was leftists just will not watch conservative content. Yeah. So nobody in Hollywood knows who I am, because none of them are watching conservative stuff. There are a couple of people that have secretly reached out to me, bigger names, people in Hollywood that you may know, you may not, but are at least associated with big stuff. And they've said, yes, secretly, but don't tell anybody. But yeah, I watch your show and stuff. And that's really cool. Yeah.
So do they really believe that white people are racist in Hollywood, or they pretended to believe it to save their jobs?
Well, that's the big question now, right? Because the left has gotten so crazy with Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all this craziness, that a lot of people that I know who were strong leftists, or who essentially are strong leftists, I mean, in terms of the basic policies of the left, but they're going to vote for Trump this year because they're just like, the left's gone mental. You know? So I do think that's changing, that's shifting. There's a lot of secret conservatives now, or not conservatives necessarily, but Trump supporters, people who are shifting a little bit more right in Hollywood. But yeah, you can't say it. You can't say it. I'm a part of some groups out here in Hollywood, and you meet people occasionally.
Right. I think it's more than what we imagine now because of the rioting and looting and destruction that's happening in America, and especially the attack upon white people. So I think quietly a lot of people are going to vote for the president, but not tell anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my thought as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.